Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci.
Good morning. He's upset. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mojo Market Report right here on a Monday. It is a rainy Monday over here at Chop Studios. It is Dave Sturchio. It is Chris Gueci. It is A5 Anthony behind the glass producing the show. A very interesting Sunday has come and gone. I won't even get into it. I mean, look, it is what it is. Tyler Haneke, buy stock right now. Go long. Multipliers, all sorts of stuff. But that was a brutal one to watch, but I digress with that. I'll leave you alone because we're talking about making money here on the Mojo Market, and we did that yesterday. We did that because if you remember Friday, we had said something about guys like Josh Jacobs. We'll get into him in a little bit. We gave you some real good filler, and we also may have said, and may or may not have said on Friday, to short a Brady and a Rodgers, you know what I mean? Like now it's all kind of coming to fruition. So again, not rooting for guys to stink, but at the same time, I'm here to make money. So with the top movers this week, we'll have to start on the local front as we typically do. And listen, I'm not about to say or get too deep into the injury to Breece Hall. We'll get more into that tomorrow, as a matter of fact, because we have a really good conversation about that. The Jets obviously get their win, so congratulations to the Jets for moving to 5-2. Zach Wilson does enough. You know, that's on the local front for the Jets. But the big story here in New York right now is the New York Football Giants. And we start with Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones. I just cringe when I say Daniel Jones.
I spent my entire week of work last week trying to dissect why the Giants were winning football games, and I came up with the fact that they just shouldn't be. So my big bet yesterday was to fade the Giants, and I paid the price on that one.
Yeah.
I just can't keep on fading Danny Dimes, bro. Another fourth quarter comeback.
Unbelievable.
100 more yards rushing.
Yeah,
And
yesterday.
he still stinks to me. I just don't. I can't figure it out.
We're trying to figure this out.
No turnovers again, even though I feel like they had one overturned.
They
yesterday. I know they did.
Okay,
but
well,
nonetheless, 0 turnovers again. Another fourth quarter game-winning drive.
Yeah. Daniel Jones goes 19 of 30 for 202, so nothing crazy through the air. And like I said, we said it last week. Like, who's he throwing to? Well, you're finding it out that he doesn't have many targets. Bellinger gets like poked or blasted in the eye. Like, you see his eye after the game?
Yeah,
it was nasty. So he'll wear a shield for the rest of his life. But anyway, 19 for 30, 202, a 63% completion percentage. He, as you mentioned already, 11 rushes for 107 yards and a touchdown, averaging 9 yards a carry on the ground. This guy's doing it all. Dare I say, I had a joke. I was driving in this morning.
He's doing it all, though? He's doing enough. We'll say he's doing enough.
6-1. So
he's doing it all with his legs, but he's definitely. But
well,
200 yards passing.
I was driving in this morning. You know when you have those aha moments, like, oh, I know what I'm going to do on the show. And I missed my opportunity. I was going to say, let's start with the quarterback of the New York Giants, Josh Allen. I mean Daniel Jones. Because that's kind of what he looks like right now. He's using his legs. I mean, look, Josh Allen can lace it. I'm sorry.
You better.
I'm not going to backtrack. I'm going to say he's playing Josh Allen like when it comes to winning games using his legs when he has to.
Okay, so he's playing like Josh Allen. Second year Josh Allen.
Right before the.
But better with the football. He's taking care of the football.
Yeah,
and that's
man.
the most important part. They're winning football games. Again, it's Brian Daboll on this one that wins the game. And Daniel Jones, fourth quarter guts. This team is still winning football games on guts.
I mean, 1 yard away from losing, but, you know, at the same time.
Yeah, but guess what it takes to make that tackle at the 1 yard line?
Oh, they
Short
stood
of the
him
goal
up.
line.
Now, I think Bob Papa lost his
Guts.
voice on the
Takes
fan.
Guts.
Yeah, I mean, look,
they got something going on in New York or New Jersey, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm not in on the Giants yet, but it's probably time to get in on.
I was
Daniel
just gonna
Jones.
say, and look, as a Cowboys fan, everybody, it's well documented.
Daniel Jones, yes, he's going to get another contract.
But
There's
no
question about it.
Is that? Well, we said it last week. It was the if. Do you now think 6-1 gets it done right now? Like, they're not going to do it mid-season, but I'm saying,
look, there's still a lot of football left. I'm not going to say definitely, but. I mean, how do you really look your fan base in the eyes? I know some of them will probably be happy.
They will look their fan base in the eyes if they go 9-8.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they enter the second half of this season, obviously they're in a good spot.
Yeah.
The Giants would have to lose a lot of football to play themselves out of playoff contention. If that happens, then we could have a whole different conversation. But if the Giants end up comfortably into a playoff spot, I don't know if they're going to win their division. I mean, the wheels could still come off.
Yeah, no, you're
question
right
about it.
But if I'm playing on a Daniel Jones when it comes to the Mojo Market, I'm looking ahead, and I told you guys that if you're going to go along on Daniel Jones, multipliers are the way to do it. Because young guy, you just got to be careful, tread lightly. But the next 3 games at Seattle, home against the Texans, home against the Lions, like
those three defenses.
When are they
there's
going
to
to
be a
lose?
chance for Daniel Jones to start airing it out a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got some opportunities coming up.
And just imagine the movement that he has right now. He's up another 5% yesterday. The movement, just imagine if he actually starts throwing 300-yard football games, So interesting, man. Interesting times in New York.
I'll try to imagine, but I'm not seeing that.
Right.
Not with this receiver.
I didn't see 6-1
not with
either.
These receivers.
At this point, I had him at like 2-5 or 3-4. You know what I mean? Like 6-1. It's ridiculous. I'm over it. All right. How about to one of the league's better young upstart quarterbacks and Joe Burrow? Okay. Joe Burrow yesterday absolutely had himself a day. Okay. 481 yards, threw the ball 42 times, completed 34 of them. 3 touchdowns, average through the air, 11.5 yards per attempt. And his completion percentage, dude, ready for this? 81% completion percentage. Joe Burrow on the year has now thrown over 2,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, 5 picks. We talk about those guys like the Herberts and the Mahomes of the world, right? And Joe Burrow has not gotten enough burn from us collectively, or I think the media, because it's like you're waiting for this guy. Like it's been kind of bleak in the beginning of the season. He goes out yesterday and absolutely tears the roof off. And when I look at Joe Burrow, I'm thinking to myself, man, if you would have went long on Joe Burrow yesterday, especially with the multiplier they offered, okay, he's up 79%. 79%, bro. Like, look, and again, multipliers are great. They can work the other way. I'm down 49% right now with Justin Herbert. But, like, it's not, I'm staying
Well, I
put.
do want to point out, like, there's been weeks where Joe Burrow has been in the red this season. So
Yeah.
pointing it out, you're talking like you're down with Herbert, right?
Yeah.
Herbert's been down a little bit the past couple weeks. They had some injuries around some key players surrounding him. He had a rib thing. But at the end of the day, you're not selling on Justin Herbert right now.
And I'm not selling on Joe Burrow
That's a
either.
hold. And if Joe Burrow, if you had him in the early parts of the season where he had a couple tough games, he was holding onto the ball a little too long. His offensive line, they were still talking like they couldn't protect him. His offensive line has actually held up pretty decent this season. Early going
was tough.
I think he was holding the ball too long. I don't think that the offensive line was actually doing a good job protecting when you look at the metrics. Joe Burrow wasn't getting the ball out.
True.
Joe Burrow's definitely getting the ball out now. He's got the best complement of receivers, I think, in the NFL. People will argue with me on that one, but Tyler Boyd as a number 3. You see how
went
under
off
the radar.
yesterday. Yeah.
I mean, I played him in 3 or 4 fantasy leagues. Terrible situation.
Not fun times if you're in that situation, but a great time if you use the multiplier on Joe Burrow, because going forward, like you just alluded to, this receiving core is young. They're good. They're like 1 year separated as far as, I don't know why I say separated, from draft class. You know what I mean? They get the Jamar Chase pretty much right after T. Higgins. So those guys will be coming up. That's going to be a problem with the Bengals.
I'm not sure how old Tyler Boyd is, but you think that. But when you look at the youth,
but he's like, it feels like a lifer.
He's not that old either. He's firmly entrenched into his prime right now. Tyler Boyd's been in the league for like 5 years, I think, 6 years tops.
Let's see, Tyler Boyd. All right, pulling up the old Tyler Boyd stats here. Yeah, he is. Yeah, I mean, wow, that's interesting. He got into the league in 2016. So he got into the league the same year. If you want to put a preference to, or like a comparison, he got in the same year as Zeke and Dak and those guys. So he's been in the league. He's done a fairly good job. I mean, look, the best part about Tyler Boyd, and I'll tell you right now, other than 2017 with an injury, 16, 14, 16, 15, 16 games played. Durable.
Yeah.
Durable. And I know we're not talking about Tyler Boyd here, but
he's got a clear-cut job and a really good one in that slot role in that Bengals offense.
And that Bengals offense is now starting to click, and Joe Burrow is the guy to do it. So right now, if you want, they're offering a multiplier on Joe Burrow. I would highly recommend it, because again, you look at this guy and his floor is here. You know what I mean? It's only up from here. He's banking value because of the fact that he's played in the Super Bowl already.
I'm seeing value in all of the Bengals right now.
He's not playing the Super Bowl already. Why am I? Yes, he has.
Yeah, I'm seeing value in all of the Bengals, the pass catchers and the quarterback, even Joe Mixon. For now,
sure.
I just think that they're on an upward trajectory. The way they looked yesterday, that offense is humming. So I'm going to cash in on that while I can.
I'm with it. I'm also with a guy that you said it after the show yesterday. We pulled up another clip right after the show, and it was about a running back in Las Vegas named Josh Jacobs. This dude is absolutely going ham this year. Contract year, that's the big one. Yesterday, another 20 rushes for 143 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's got 633 yards. He's almost averaging 100 yards a game. Did they have a bye already?
Yeah.
So he's averaging over 100 yards a game, regardless. So that's pretty incredible. Again, I said the contract year is the big thing for me. Also the big thing is what the offense they're running now, you look at Derek Carr and Devontae Adams as like the guys to look at. But when I look at this offense and I look at that head coach and I'm thinking like he comes from a Bill Belichick tree who likes to run the rock. And I think they found their guy. I found it hard pressed, and I understand that paying running backs is not the easiest thing to do in this league. But I think he's warranting a nice little deal here. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that and plus the offensive line deserves some of the credit here.
Yeah,
the
of
offensive
course.
line is right now the best run-blocking offensive line in football. You can make the case that the Lions were, but the Lions are kind of faltering a little bit now. I know that
They've been out without Swift, too.
I'm saying defensive.
Oh, yeah. No, they gave us
Actually, no, you're right.
No, offensive line. Monday.
But yeah, I think he's the best running back in football right now. They're not even really considering giving the ball to anybody else. You might see like a carry or two from Abdullah or Zamir White, but that's it. They're using him in the goal line situations. They're using him in the red zone. Josh Jacobs, he's lighting people up in open field. He's seeking out the contact, and he's actually winning in those. And every time he does that, he's winning in that situation. Josh Jacobs, 100% buy right now. I don't see the offense changing much. They're desperate. They're going to have to do what's the safest approach in these games because they're behind the eight ball a little bit.
Yeah.
I think running the football has clearly been their best recipe and allowed Derek Carr to finish late. Definitely run the football. Definitely buy Josh Jacobs right now.
I'm with it. Another guy that kind of emerged yesterday was somebody that nobody really expected to, but they knew the talent, they knew the speed was there, and he's becoming a gadget guy all of a sudden in Kansas City. And when you're a part of a Kansas City offense, you're going to get numbers. Everybody's going to eat over there. And I'm talking about Miko Hardman. Yesterday, 4 targets, 4 receptions for 32 yards and a touchdown. But the big thing is he runs in 2 as well. 2 rushes for 28 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Miko Hardman had himself an absolute day. Season stats obviously aren't as gaudy because, again, Mahomes is finding new guys. I mean, he found Juju yesterday too. So I look at him, a Hardman, and while he was up yesterday, it's almost like the same scenario as like, and again, we'll touch on it tomorrow, but like having a Breece Hall and a Michael Carter, like what's to stop you from having all of the offensive pass catchers and skill position guys of the Chiefs? They all will score at some point. I maybe not the whole multiplier game, but
I would touch more on it tomorrow as far as what you just said, and I'll elaborate on that. But I'm not in on Miko Hardman. I'm not in on many of the Chiefs pass catchers besides Travis Kelce because of the same reason. I'm looking at it, and he had a great game yesterday. 4 targets, 2 rushes. He had 4 catches, so he had, he caught all of his targets. But the major number that I'm looking at is 4 and 2. 4 targets, 2 rushing attempts. He's only had 4 rushing attempts on the season, including those 2 yesterday. So It's not like they're looking at him as a running back. They're not handing him the ball a ton. It's gadget plays there. 2 of them happen to go for touchdowns
2
yesterday.
jet sweeps.
It's not going to be very often that you get the ball 6 times in a game and 3 of them go to the house. It's very rare. That's like Randy Moss, Deshaun Jackson type. And I'm not saying Miko Hardman is the type of guy that can do that in spots, and he has throughout his career. But when we're looking at the body of work for this season, 25 targets, 218 yards, 3 touchdowns, that's receiving. And then he has everything he did on the ground he did yesterday. So I don't expect them to just say, hey, they knew about this talent before yesterday's game.
They also knew about this talent when deciding to get rid of Tyreek Hill.
Understood, right?
That's a big thing.
But
it is to me.
He has not stepped in.
No.
For what?
But he could.
I don't think it was we have Miko Hardman. We could afford to get rid of Tyreek Hill. It was we don't want to pay a receiver $30 million because we have Travis Kelce and we have Pat Mahomes that we have to worry about.
And they pieced it together with Vantas.
And they put a bunch of things together, and the offense is clicking. Yeah. Obviously, it's not really missing a beat, but Miko Hardman is not Tyreek Hill. 25 targets on the season, 200 yards on the season, a little bit more, 3 touchdowns. And you would think for the amount of playmaking ability and stretch the field ability that he has, that he would be like upward in the tops of the leagues in terms of yards per catch. It's not. It's like 11.5. So it's not like he's blowing the cover off defenses. They're getting him the ball in space. He's doing good things. But as far as the Mojo Market is concerned, I just don't see enough usage for me to be involved with a Miko Hardman.
Interesting. And the Chiefs get themselves a blowout win over a very, very good defense. Banged up defense, yes, but they put the pedal to the metal yesterday, boy, and they put it to the 49ers, who are now coming on 2 straight losses, 2 straight bad losses. Niners got to get it together, but they got CMC, so let's see if they kind of start gelling over there. Speaking of running backs, I just mentioned CMC, but I'll mention one of the better running backs all of a sudden in that NFC said West, and that's Kenneth Walker III. Like, Here's a guy who got himself an opportunity because of injury. And, Penny was touted as the guy going in. And over the offseason, we heard about Chris Carson saying, you know what, the hell with this. I'm done. I want my neck for the rest of my life. So all of a sudden, you draft a guy like this, and they do have other supplemental guys. DJ Dallas, Travis Homer, guys like that. Guys that you know their names because they've played supplemental roles over the last 2-3 years, right? But here's Kenneth Walker, drafted this year, and to me, because of, and again, sucks for Breece Hall, but if Kenneth Walker continues this way, he's going to win Rookie of the Year. You know what I mean? Because he just is an absolute stud right now. Yesterday, 23 rushes, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. Averaged 7 yards on the ground per carry. So that's the big thing. And on the season, 67 rushes, 411 yards, 4 touchdowns. Now, I say that with 411 yards with not a lot of opportunity in the beginning. The opportunity is now. So the chance for you to buy into a Kenneth Walker III is now. Because, again, all of a sudden, believe it or not, we're talking about the first place Seattle Seahawks, okay?
Geno.
What are we talking about here? Like Geno Smith, you're right. Geno Smith has played very well. Kenneth Walker, an amazing component to this offense, knowing that you can spread the ball out and still run the rock. Pete Carroll. It's very annoying to look at you on the sidelines. But, you got to give him his due. Like, he's coaching these guys up. Did you see, there was one moment. I don't know if you saw this. It's a very close, intimate moment that you had to catch on TV. Geno Smith was talking about something. There was some kind of call on the sidelines. Geno Smith and Pete Carroll both yelling at the referee simultaneously. And Geno's on fire. And Pete's like, get out of here. Get back to the huddle. So he's running away. And then one more time, Pete goes, hey, Geno. And he turns around and he goes, I know it's going to sound corny, but he basically calmed him down. He's like, relax. Like, we got this. Pete Carroll, testament to your coaching.
What a great coach.
I'm telling you. I don't like, listen.
Oh, wait, a coach calmed down a player.
No, you know what, though? In today's society, bro, it's not, today's society, it's not hard. It's not easy. Yes, it's not easy to calm somebody down without offending somebody. You know what I mean? So, like, the fact that he said,
on the NFL sideline,
relax.
Listen to your head coach. Calm down, Geno.
And he did, and he calmed down.
I'm not giving the conversations about flowers for that.
I will. The conversation is about Kenneth Walker III. How good can this guy be if he's the lead back going forward? I mean, clearly he's showing it.
We've seen
but it's Seattle after all, and they weren't touted to have this miraculous season.
Hey, look, Seattle wasn't touted to have it, but it doesn't matter because, wait, what was Geno's quote?
You haven't seen me throw yet?
Y'all wrote me off a long time ago.
I just didn't write back.
Well, Seattle, we wrote them off. They didn't write back.
Yeah,
I guess that works here as well. Mm-hmm. Look, going into the season, Rashad Penny, we knew what he was. He actually had a couple of splash plays this season that impressed me a lot, but still, I knew what Rashad Penny was, and I expected Kenneth Walker to eventually take the reins. Unfortunately for Rashad Penny, it was due to a serious injury.
Right.
But Kenneth Walker has not chilled out even a slightest bit since he's become the running back over there. Look, the last 3 games, you see his numbers on the season, 67 for 411, 4 touchdowns, right? His last 3, 52 carries, 353 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So all of that has been in 3 games. All that he's done so far this season.
52 carries in 3 games?
52 carries
So he's
in 3
up there
games.
in the 16, 17, 18 range? That's
353 on the season.
Wow.
I mean, for the 3 games, and he's got 411 on the season. So everything that he's done has been in the last 3 weeks. Kenneth Walker right now might be that league winner that everyone looks for in fantasy football.
And how about money winner? Go along
and money
on Kenneth
winner
Walker.
here on Mojo.
There's your running back 1 for the Seattle Seahawks going forward.
And
I'm sorry,
and I want to
Penny.
say I know that Pete Carroll's offense hasn't really thrown much to the running back throughout his career, or his tenure, I should say. But Kenneth Walker has the pass catching ability. They just haven't gotten it going yet. I expect that to actually increase. He might not be getting 20, 30 carries or 20 carries a game because that's just a lot in the NFL. But I do expect him to get some more work in the passing downs. And the sky's the limit for Kenneth Walker. And that offense is playing good. The defense isn't, but really, in the NFC right now, it's completely wide open.
NFC West in particular.
Just in the NFC, really.
I'm saying, but the champs are
they're in first
stumbling.
Place. To say it's wide open, it's like it's wide open for the other teams. Right now, they're like, yeah, of course, we got this. I think Seattle's in a really good spot because as you look, 49ers, I think, are a second half team. They're built for the second half, and I expect them fully to kind of turn things on.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about the Rams. They have real issues on the offensive line. And I know that the Seattle defense really has issues as well, and we have to monitor the DK situation. But
he did go out with a knee.
When DK got hurt yesterday, that offense actually elevated a little bit. I don't know that that's going to hurt them as bad as people might think. Just the way they've been playing, it's not really that style.
They got a plethora of tight ends over there too. They got a couple guys that are actually very
if they're
good.
able to run the ball effectively, their defense will improve as a result of that. I fully believe that. So look for Seattle in the second half to kind of make a little bit of a push for the playoffs. Obviously, they're in first place right now, but Kenneth Walker is going to be the main reason behind that. And Geno's solid not turning the ball over play, but Kenneth Walker is the star in Seattle.
Who had the Seattle Seahawks relevant around Halloween? Not me. So it is what it is. They're playing above.
Certainly not me.
Let it go.
Geno,
all right.
comeback player of the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's up there. Who else?
Brian Robinson?
Does he count?
I think so.
No.
I mean,
maybe. All right. Anyway,
Like,
a guy that's also up for Rookie of the Year based off of missing all last year. We're throwing one more mover at you, and it's Travis Etienne. And the reason why I throw this guy at you is because we saw a great article with Dalton who actually called this and said, you know what, this is the guy. That's over on Mojo.com. This is a guy you might want to invest in long term. Yesterday, 14 rushes, 114 yards and a touchdown, 8 yards per carry. Travis Etienne, and then you saw nothing, not a zilch out of
James Robinson. Yeah, that's the only reason why I put him in here right now is because I think it's worth noting. Travis Etienne had a good solid game, first touchdown of his career, broke the 100-yard mark. The Giants' defense isn't really good at stopping the run, and we got to see that.
Said that yesterday.
But I'm not trying to bash the Giants more. They're 6-1 or whatever. But James Robinson was healthy. He hasn't had an injury designation all season long. I know he had an Achilles going into the season, but he managed to overcome that and looked like he was really good going forward. Doug Peterson had some interesting comments where he almost alluded to the fact that he was hurt, but didn't say he was hurt and just needs everybody to be ready to go. I think that's just him being coy, and that's his way of saying Travis is the man now. And hopefully looking forward for my fantasy team's sake. But I'm interested in the Travis Etienne. I want to monitor him a little bit and see how the usage goes next week. But I almost might not want to wait because I think I'm going to trust my gut.
That price now, man.
I'm going to trust my instinct on this. I wish I actually had it. I'm going to look.
$965.
I'm going to look what he's at for his actual career.
Well, he had nothing last year.
I want to look at his all-time numbers.
Yeah, look, Travis Etienne right now is playing in an offense in which you would think, led by Trevor Lawrence, that they would be, throwing the ball a little more. You spent all that money on Christian Kirk, and all of a sudden you got a two-headed monster that might not have to be a two-headed monster. You got something?
Yeah, so he entered the league essentially at 1241. So he's still right now. Travis Etienne is still lower than his entry value in Mojo. So there's still room for growth because I think that he's going to realize his floor very, very soon. So we're talking about a significant potential here in a boost because under $10 for a guy that just had the game that he had, and then you see his basic competition for touches didn't get the seated field at all. I think he had a couple snaps. He had one carry, but it was negated with a holding call, so that was wiped away. He basically didn't even play football yesterday, and that's a good sign for anybody that is interested in the Travis Etienne investment.
Yes, I would do that right now. Like I said, won't get any lower than it is right now. He's establishing a floor. Get in on it very, very quickly. All right, and definitely use multipliers. These young kids, I'm telling you, while it enhances that daytime, like when it happens in real time, you're like, yeah, and then you just gotta be careful.
I mean, let's just think about it. You could have made, if you put $100 on Joey Burrow yesterday
with his multiplier,
you cashed $80.
Yeah, 100.
Easy.
I was gonna say 100, but you said 80.
Well, it was 80%.
I was gonna say 100%, and it wasn't. So we got one more game to go in Week 7, and it's gonna be a barn burner, folks. It's between the Chicago Bears and the New England Patriots. The return of the Mac. Mac Jones is back tonight after. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't just insert him right in.
I would.
It's Bailey Zappi season, boy. Like that guy, he did wonderfully in relief. He did wonderfully. I don't know if it's justified to just rip him out of the game and crush his dreams.
It certainly isn't crushing his dreams. He did good, and I think he's in a good spot. It gets him a chance to kind of take a breath and reconfigure and learn the offense a little bit more because, look, Belichick, I think it's a testament to Bailey Zappi coming in and doing his part and making the plays he needed to make, but I think a lot of it had to do with coaching. they're going to insert Mac Jones, who's just a better passer than Bailey Zappi is.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm not taking anything away from Bailey Zappi, but when you're a backup quarterback in the league, one of the best things you could do is go in, right, and serve as a backup quarterback, win some football games, and keep your team season alive. And then when the opportunity presents itself again, either A, through injury, or B, through like a Marcus Mariota spot, where you kind of find yourself in a spot where it's like, okay, this is going to be a stopgap. Bailey Zappi's not out here winning Super Bowls, I don't think, anytime soon. So I think it's...
Said the same thing about Tony Romo.
And he didn't.
I was just saying, like, you could have just...
You could have said the same thing about Tom Brady, too. I'm not sitting here saying Bailey Zappi doesn't deserve to be in the NFL, or just because you don't win a Super Bowl doesn't mean you're not worthy. But Mac Jones, first-round pick. Last year, he was like in the running for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I think it's a clear-cut decision that needs to be made. And I think defenses and coaches realize that as well. Like Mac Jones is a little bit more, he's a little better with the football.
Polished, we'll say.
A little more polished. Good one.
Damian Harris returns. You in on him?
No, I'm still all in on Ram Stevenson. Ramondre is the man in New England.
You think we're the only ones still calling him Ram Stevenson?
We shouldn't be. We shouldn't be. He's a running back in the NFL. His name is Ramondre. Clearly, his nickname is Ram, right?
Yeah, I mean, some people just call it Ra.
Ram.
No, it's Ram to me too. What about the Bears? I mean, look, the offense has not gotten off to the best start in the world. Guys like Justin Fields, I mean, he finally started to hit Mooney a little bit.
Fest. We're fading.
Yeah.
I'm fading everybody in this game. I'm not actually buying. I'm not going long on anybody. This is the short fest. You could short Justin Fields against this pass defense of the Patriots. They're going to be in his face all night. I don't know that David Montgomery is going to get anything going, or Khalil Herbert. The Patriots' MO has been just playing great defense and doing very, very little, like literally saying, like, we're going to hand the ball off a bunch, and then we're going to play action, and there's nothing you can do about it. The Patriots are 4-2?
No.
What are they?
No, not at all. No way.
Are they 3-2?
No. What
3-3?
What season you been watching? No shot. And I'm going to be proven wrong in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like...
I don't think so. I think the Patriots are sitting back at 3-3.
3-3. Oh, crazy. 4-2. One win difference.
It's a big difference.
They're serving 8.5 right now on a platter to the Bears, and they're saying this 3-3 Patriots team at home is going to lay 8.5, and I think that you might see a decent amount of offense. The Bears can't stop the run for anything, and that just plays into the Patriots. I'm not giving away picks on this show.
No, don't do that. Like, but I will ask you this. One play tonight, Monday Night Football, who's it going to be?
I'm going to go long on nobody, and I'm going to fade and short Justin Fields.
All right, that's it. And you can do that by downloading the app right now. Take out your phones, download the app. They're going to give you like $50 cash right off the rip. So you could do that. I strongly
considered going, like, I was looking at Mac Jones, and I was like, you just talked, like, yeah, they shouldn't give him the job. I feel like Mac Jones is going to perform a little bit today. It's
going to show out in prime time.
Still not going to go long on him.
Prime time. So do us a favor. Follow Mojo everywhere you potentially can, which is the Instagram. I sound like I almost said 40.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing at all. Go follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and of course Twitter at Mojo. Find us on YouTube, which you're watching this right now. You found us, so like the video and also share it out there. Show them who you're talking to and who you decide to get your Mojo advice from. Also, head on over to mojo.com for all the great blogging. Join the Discord tonight. There will probably over on Twitter will be a Twitter Spaces right before Monday Night Football on guys you can go short or long on. Maybe I'll jump on with that because Luke does a great job with that as well. So great show, great week 7 for most of us, and that'll do it. So for Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci from Chop Studios, we will see you guys tomorrow as we enter week 8. Week 8, bro. Good Lord.
And it's already
short Justin Fields.